Hey, welcome once again, Deep in Inspiration Hub here. In my previous video, I did a tutorial on how to set up the ATOR relay on a VPS server, so where you don't host this yourself, but you outsource it to a company, like an example that I used in my video, Anon. Today, I'm going to do a different flavor of the tutorial where you're not going to be hosting this with a different company, but in the situation where you have a PC at home with sufficient resource that you like to run the ATOR relay on. So here again I refer to the educ.ator.io page. So once again, big ups to the team. The tutorial or the steps that are outlined here are very easy to follow. So when you come to the home page or when you go to the educator page, all you would have to do is to click on set up your environment. And then here, because we're going to be running on Windows, I'm going to click visualization on Windows. Should you be running this on Mac operating system, you can just click on Mac OS. So here I'm going to click on visualization for Windows. And then there's basically two prerequisites that you would need. So you would need to install the Ubuntu server, because this is the operating system is going to be running on Ubuntu. And here, very, very important, I'll show you soon the version of Ubuntu that you'd have to download. So I made a mistake in the first place, but I can show you how I did this, or a mistake that I did so that you don't do the same thing. In the second aspect, you're going to download what is called a VirtualBox. And here the instructions on how to do this is very, very nicely outlined. Every step through the installation process is outlined here, and then you can do this. So I'm going to skip this process because I've already installed the VirtualBox on my PC. But like I said, all the instructions are systematically, step by step, are laid down here, right? So the next thing I'm going to do, like after you have installed the VirtualBox, you would have to get the Ubuntu server anyway. So by just clicking on this link, it's going to take you to the Ubuntu page. And here, very, very important, make sure you download the Ubuntu server 22.04. So this is also what I think is written on the page. So yeah, exactly. So it's written here, you need Ubuntu server 22.04. So make sure that when you go to the page, you download that one. So I've already downloaded this on my PC, so I can skip this step and get to the other stages of the tutorials. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to the right, the tutorial to the right, and I'm going to open the virtual manager on the left. So I've already installed this, I tested this out, and everything worked out very, very good, right? So I'm going to, I assume, like I told you, I've installed the VirtualBox, I've downloaded my Ubuntu. So we're going to start from section 3 where you launch the VirtualBox. So what it says is that you would have to open the VirtualBox, and here you would have to create a new virtual machine. So I already had one created, that's why you see this ATOR home here, but I'm going to create a new one so that we do this together with you as well. So it says here you're going to have to click on new. So I'm going to click on new. So I try to do this systematically as is shown in the tutorial, so that you don't so that it's quite nicely shown how good the tutorial on the educ.ator.io page is, right? And here you're gonna, after you click on new, then you're gonna have to put in a name of your virtual machine. So I'm gonna put in Deep in Inspiration Hub, and then the folder, I'm not gonna put anything there. I'm gonna go to the ISO image, and I'm gonna locate the ISO image that I downloaded. So I put this, I think, on my desktop. So I'm just gonna double click on this. So you can see the version is 22.04.4. So let's double click on this. And then in the next step, it says that you click on skip on its unattended installation, right? So you don't need to do anything here. And the hardware, this is where you need to specify which resource or how much resource you want to donate or you want to make available to the ATOR relay that you're going to set up. So here it's recommended to use 2 gigabytes. So that's 20.20, so 2048. And then from CPU processors, it's recommended, so they said a minimum of 2 CPU is sufficient. So I'm just going to click up here. And then from a hardware space, I think they also said 15 gigabyte is sufficient. So I'm going to scroll to and just put this in as well. 15 15. And then what does it say? Then you click on finish. So let's go up just to make sure that everything is correct. So name is correct. We selected skip on intended installation. We selected our Ubuntu operating system, the ISO image. base memory is correct, processor is correct, hardware allocation, we've allocated a specific hardware that we need. And then here it says that all you need to do is to click finish. So we're going to click finish here, and then we're going to go to you would have to change the NoTech adapter to a bridge. So here I'm going to go, so because I have to here, don't get confused, this is the one that I'm working on, right? So it says that you would have to go to settings, so I'm going to go to settings, and then under network, this is this section here. Under network, you click on network, and then you go to attached to. So you can see everything is written very clearly on the tutorial page from the ATOR protocol website. So when you click here, you select bridge adapter, and then here you select the adapter that you are using. So I am using a LAN, so I'm using my Ethernet adapter directly. If you are using a wireless, you would also see your wireless adapter here, and you can select that one. So here everything is correct because from my side, because this is the exact adapter that I'm using. If you are in doubt, I think you can also find this from network. So here, when you right click here, you can find this under network and internet settings. And then when you go to maybe change adapter set options, you would see, so here you can see the adapter settings that I have. So you can see that I have this Bluetooth network connection, and I have the Ethernet. This is the one that is connected, right? And then you can see that when I hover over it, it writes Realtek Gaming GBE Family Controller. And that's exactly the one that is selected here. So if you're in doubt, you can always come here and see which one you are connected to and select this. But I think it's pretty easy. You wouldn't see that much because you might not have that much adapters connected to your PC. So back to the tutorial, what does it say here? So you select this and then you click OK. And then what you have to do, start with detachable stats. So this is under this option. When you click on the arrow down here, you would have to select detachable stats. So let's click on this. And then now the magic begins. So the virtual machine that we just set up is starting up. So I'm going to move this to the left. Maybe I can minimize this, right? So that you see this in a better way. Now, so here everything is done here. So all we need to do, we clicked on next. So we're going to start with the installation of the Ubuntu server by clicking on this option here. When you come down here, so it says that what we have to do is to select try or install Ubuntu. So you click on this. Because I'm using two windows, so I have to come down here and click it. So I'm going to press enter, or I just clicked on it, but you can basically press enter on the keyboard. This would install it. So we're going to wait a minute. And then as you can see here, after the installation is complete, you would have to select your system language, and then we're going to continue with the installation process. So this should be finished loading up soon. So we're there. Here you select the language that you want to use. You can use the up and the down arrow keys on your keyboard to select this. So I'm doing this in English because I need it in English. So I'm going to just put it under English and press the enter key. And then here you're going to have to select your keyboard. I think it might have skipped this version of mine because probably I have a recent version of the Ubuntu already running. So I'm going to come down here, and then here we are at this section here. So it says just click done. So I'm going to select done by pressing enter, because you can see this is already highlighted, right? The highlighted section is the one that is green with a blinking cursor. So I'm going to select done. And then we are down here. So what it says is that make sure Ubuntu server is checked, and then select done. So here you see that Ubuntu server is checked. Nothing else is selected. So done. I'm going to click enter or press enter. And then we're going to have to wait a little bit. So it says that wait until the CHP version 4 assigns a LAN IP, and note this IP. So this is also very, very important. When you want to connect to your node after the installation, I'm going to be doing this with a PowerShell. So I would recommend that you take note of the IP address here. So you can, I'm just going to open Notepad, and I'm going to type in this IP address. So -192.168.1.2. So that's the IP address, which is set. So we're going to keep this somewhere. Make sure you don't lose it. I mean, technically, when you start the virtual machine and you go into your router settings, you can see the devices that are connected, and then you can you can see the IP address of the virtual machine, but it's a long process, and that's why I just think it's good to just make note of the IP address here. Now everything is done here. We're gonna select, so we took note of the IP address, we're gonna select done by pressing enter. And then here they said we should leave this field empty, so don't touch anything, just press done. And then in the next stage, I think it's going to configure the proxy, configure Ubuntu archive mirror. So this is what is running down here. So here, as it tells you, when minor tests passed, select done. So you can see also here it's written this mirror location test passed. So here it says when minor test passed, but that's exactly what is written here. So we are good. So I'm going to press enter. And then we come to the storage setup. So here we can also keep the default because it tells us to keep the default setting, and just press enter. So here it's a bit tricky. I don't know, maybe in your case it's going to be different, but here you can see that the done is not there. It's very easy to go down by just pressing the tab on your keyboard. So you see that it cycles between all the stages. So here we are done because we have the green there, and then we just press enter. And then technically, we are done. So we have configured, so we are under storage configuration here. I'm also not going to change anything, just press done to go to the next stage. And then it tells you by selecting continue below will begin the installation process, and as a result you're going to load data, your data on the disk. This is okay with us because we are setting up a completely new virtual machine. So press tab to go to continue. It's going to be red because it's warning you that everything is going to be formatted, but this is fine for us. We're going to press continue. And then here you're going to put in your name. So I'm going to put in Deepin Inspiration Hub. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I'm going to be posting a lot of tutorials here about Deepin and a lot on ATOR protocol as well. So I have ordered my relay. Once the relay comes, I'm going to be setting this up with an unboxing video and teaching you as well how to set up the tutorial. So please do not forget to subscribe and like this video so that you get notifications on every video that I'll be posting with ATOR relay and also with the whole Deepin space as a whole. So here I selected my name. So what does it say? We don't need to do anything for your server's name. We're going to have to put in a username and a password. So this is very, very important. Don't miss this because that's what you're going to be using to log in into the server later. So I'm going to move this here because I'm going to type this in. So I'm going to have to blur this out. Don't worry about it. Just press tab to come to the next stage, and I'm going to put it the server name. I'm just going to use the same thing, this Deepin Inspiration Hub. And then under password, I'm going to type my password. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be username. Actually, it says that this I wouldn't want to put in anything for server because, as you can see in the tutorial from their page, they didn't put anything on the server. Technically, we just need a username, which is going to be Deepin Inspiration Hub, and then I'm going to put in my password, and then I'm going to confirm the password. I think it might be red because I tried to type in something there and didn't put anything in there. Let's see if it doesn't go. I'm just going to go back and fix this again so it doesn't tell me. Okay, now I have to put a server name. It's okay. I mean, don't make that mistake. I think I didn't need to put in anything there, but because the name it uses when it talks to each other. So probably because I tried to put in something there, that's why I'm now required to put in something there, but it's okay. I'm going to put in the same Deepin Inspiration Hub for now. And then, like I said, please take note of the username. So I'm going to also write this in my notepad, what my username is, Inspiration Hub. And then take note of the password because without these two, you can't log in into your virtual machine. So press tab, come to done, press enter. And then, so it tells us upgrade to Ubuntu Pro, recommended, skip for now. So I'm going to go down here. You see that it's already selected. Skip for now is already selected, right? With the X symbol there. So I'm just going to go down and press continue. And then when we come down here, it tells us to install the OpenSH server. So you can just select this by pressing the space right? We see that when you select this, you press the space, it selects it or it checks this. And import SSH identity, it should be no, so we're not going to change anything there. We're just going to continue and choose done. Here as well, I think, yeah, exactly, it says that don't check anything, leave everything unchecked, and then just select done. So we're just going to skip through everything and press done. So I'm changing by pressing the tab key. So now it should be installing, and after the installation is done, it's going to ask us to reboot now, and this would mean that the installation is completed. So I might forward this part of the video so that you don't have to sit through the whole thing waiting for the installation to be done. Okay, so when the installation is complete, you see that I have the same symbol here. So the same image, installation complete on my VirtualBox as well. So now we're gonna have to reboot by just selecting reboot now. So I'm going to press this tab, go to reboot now, and press enter. So now technically our virtual machine or our Ubuntu is installed. So we're gonna get these field command. Don't be scared. Exactly what it says here. Gets in the message field on mountain CD-ROM. Press enter to start the VM. So we're gonna come here and then just press enter. So now in the next stage, we're gonna boot. So we're gonna wait for the virtual machine that we just set up for the Ubuntu to run. And in the next stage, we're gonna go technically to install the ATOR. So here you can just install the Anon. So come down here, you install Anon on Linux. So we're gonna just put in one code, and then everything will be installed. I would like to do this not from the VirtualBox space. I would like to do this from the PowerShell, right? So I think you can also see this when you click on manage your server with SSH in Windows and MacOS. When you come here, you can just open PowerShell on Windows, right? So click on start, type PowerShell. And then I like this interface because it's very easy to copy and paste. At least in my case, it wasn't that easy for me to do copy and paste because the commands that we would have to be putting in is very lengthy. So when you go under install Anon, I'm going to open this in a new tab. You see that you would need to put in this lengthy code, which no one would like to type, right? So I would just like to use the option where I can just copy this and paste this, and then I should be ready to go. So I believe so what does it say here? I believe this is technically ready, right? So what you would do is, as instructed here, if you want to do this under SSH, like I said, you open PowerShell, and then here you're going to type in SSH. So just as written here, SSH, username is going to be the username that you put in when you were setting up or installing your Ubuntu. IP address is going to be the IP address that I recommended that you take note of. So in my case, it's going to be SSH, the Inspiration Hub, the @ symbol, and then your IP address. So my IP address was 196.168.1.2, and then you press enter. So it tells you, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes, I want to do so. Just type yes. And then it tells me to put in the password. So this is where we are. I don't get lost. So I'm going to put in my password, and I'm going to put in enter. And then technically we are inside the virtual machine, right? The next thing that we're going to do here, so we have installed, so we have opened the PowerShell. I'm going to go to the next stage where we're going to install the Anon on Linux. So what you have to do is just come here. So there's a nice copy symbol here. You can highlight everything, but I just found it easy by just clicking the copy symbol here. You copy. So left click, normal click to copy, and then come to PowerShell and then right click. Just click once, and then you see that it pastes in the command. And then here you're going to press enter, and then it's going to ask you for your password. So I'm going to put in my password, and then basically the magic has happened. So everything is being installed. I really like it that you don't have to put in 1,000 commands to install your Anon relay on Linux. You just put in one command and that's all the magic. So here it tells me to put in, so down here, this is where we are, put in the desired nickname for your Anon relay. I'm going to call this the Inspiration Hub for the sake of this video. going to put in enter. Then it tells you to put in your contact information. So my contact information, this is going to be your email address, by the way. So it's going to be info@deepinspirationhub.io. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me on this email address. And then press enter. And then here it tells you to, if you have, so this is very important, if you have multiple relays running, you would have to declare this, so the whole idea about a VPN is to relay information or to relay data through the multiple servers. So it wouldn't make sense to relay information within a cloud of let me say a cloud of relays that you own. So if I own like 5 relays, which are all for me, it wouldn't make sense for the team to relay all the information over these 5 relays, because then you can trace back the information. That's why it's very important, if you're running multiple relay, you declare this family. But I do not have, at least for the sake of this tutorial, I'm assuming that I have 1 relay, and I'm going to press enter. So just press enter to skip this, and then it says enter your desired bandwidth. I would leave this empty to skip. Bandwidth bits you can also leave empty, and then it tells you to, so this is very, very important, you would need to declare a port forwarding in your router in order for the relay to be able to communicate with the ATOR backend. This is very, very important. If you do not have the option, so at least in my case, for the first place, I didn't have the possibility to have this port forwarding because I didn't have a public IPv4 address, IPv4 address. So I had to pay my internet service provider, but they did this very quick. I think in my case, I paid like 50 euros, I think. And then they provided me with a public IP address, which then allowed the option for me to do a port forwarding. So if you do not have this option, you can contact your ISP and they should be able to provide this for you. I would also show you shortly how to check if this is working. So here, I'm not going to put in, so the default port is 9001. I'm not going to put in anything, so because I want to leave it at the default. If you want to change this for some reason, this is where you're going to have to put in the port that you would like to use. I'm going to press enter because I want to keep this the same. And then it tells us we have successfully installed everything, right? So Anon installation completed successfully. Now here still we are running on command lines. Technically the relay is running, but we would like to see it from a visual interface, right? So what I would install is a program or something, an interface that is called NYX or NYX, so that we can see a visualization of how the relay is doing. So here, also on the same educator page, go to frequently asked questions. So I came here by clicking on the menu, go to frequently asked questions, and then down here you're going to see how to install NYX, right? So I'm going to copy this code, Ctrl+C copy, come to my PowerShell, right click, and then press enter, and then it's basically going to install this. So everything is done, and then to run the NYX, you're going to type in sudo NYX. It's not a lot of commands, you can also type this and then press enter. So now you see that we are inside. As you can see, the relay is running. So I have not enabled port forwarding yet, and that is why you see that it says that now checking to see if the port 9001 under my IP address is reachable. This might take 20 minutes, but honestly, if everything is correctly configured, it doesn't take that much long. So what I'm going to do, for instance, I'm going to go to portchecker.co, and then here it's very easy. It loads your IP address, and then if you want to check to see if the port is open, I haven't opened it, so I do not expect it to tell me it's open. You can just click check and it will tell me it's closed because I haven't opened this yet. So now from an installation perspective, we have installed everything successfully. In the next stage is where you would have to do the port forwarding. So just to note, I can't show you this because it's going to show a lot of confidential information from my relay, also from my router, but also every router is different. So you would have to find out how to do this with your specific router. I'm going to go into the back end of my router and I'm going to enable this port. So it's very important, when you go to your router setting, you would have to locate the IP address of your virtual machine that you are running, and then with that IP address you'll be able to assign this particular port to the port forwarder. So I'm going to go quick into my router and I'm going to enable this, and I'm going to come back here and see if the port is now going to show as open. Okay, now so I have put in the port forwarder at the back end of my router. What I also wanted to tell you that when you do this, when you put it at the back end of your router and your virtual machine is not running, and you try to, I can do this for you to see, if you try to do the port forward, and it's still going to tell you that it's closed. Why? Because there is no device that is communicating through that port at the moment. So what I'm going to do is now I have restarted my router. I'm going to now start my virtual machine. I'm not starting this on PowerShell because the virtual machine is not running. So I can have to open back the Oracle VirtualBox. Just double clicking on it. I'm going to select the virtual machine that I created. Go to start, and I'm going to start with detachable stats. So when it's up and running, I can go into my PowerShell. So in a moment, I can open my PowerShell so that immediately I see that the virtual machine is running. I can enter. Okay, so it's loading, it should be done in a minute. It doesn't take that long. So you can see that now it's loaded. It tells me to log in, but I'm going to log in from my Windows PowerShell. So I'm going to press enter, and then it's going to ask me, just for cleanness, I'm going to bring this here so that's a very clear thing for you to see. It's going to ask me for my password. I'm going to put in the password that I set up with. So, and then everything is loaded, so you can see that I'm logged in into my virtual machine. So I'm going to type in sudo nice to see the back end of the ATOR relay running. I'm going to put in my password, and then now let's see. So uptime is, so here you can see the uptime is 37 seconds. And then technically what we are looking for is a notification that tells us that the port forwarding is working. So here you can see technically about 40 seconds ago it will say that, so 17:52:19, it said that I'm unable to find the IP address, but I know that I have set this. And then now you see a notice here at the top. Self-testing indicates your port at my IP address 9001 is reachable from outside. Excellent. So guys, we did a good job. So now for instance, when you come to port checker.io, so I'm going to reload this, and then you see that it tells me it's open. It's open because I've done this at the back end of my router, and I have also a device running communication through that port. So I hope you made it through this video. Very important, if you're running this on a VPS, you don't need to worry about this. At least it's running all the time if you're running on a PC. I would always recommend that you come in once in a while to make sure that everything is running at the back end as well. So when you close the PowerShell, it's not going to stop the virtual machine from running. But if you close this VirtualBox, you basically, if you turn it, if you close it, and you also here you choose power off the machine, you basically turn off the virtual machine. So PowerShell is just an interface to see what is going on. Virtual machine is what controls really the state of your virtual machine. So if you want to use this and you want to use it on a PC, I would recommend that you keep this. Not a recommendation. This is what you have to do. You have to keep the VirtualBox running all the time. You can also leave this. I also like to leave it on so that I can just see how things are doing. So currently it appears that everything is running. So here you see that the port is reachable. Everything we did was successful. I hope you were able to make it through this video. If you have any questions, put this in the comment section. I'm very happy to help you through. Like I said, I did this on my Windows. If you're doing this on a Mac, it's not that different. Technically the steps are the same. This is also very well outlined on the Educator page. So for instance, when you could setting up your environment, you can see for Mac how to do this as well. If you do not have this port forwarding, if you do everything and it's still closed, that means that most likely you do not have a public IP. That's why IPv4 in my case. I just called my ISP and I had to pay like 50 euros, but they activated this for me, and then everything was working now. So thank you very much once again for watching the video. I hope I was able to help you set up your device. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel, like this video so that I can get notifications for the next one I'm going to put it up. Thanks a lot and have a good one. See you. Bye.